welcome to a special edition of Tame the Flame. This is our New Year's Day edition. It's 2018. It's hard to believe that KUDU is officially 1 year old as of today, and it's been an amazing first year. We've got so much planned for this year, so we want to do a little special edition of New Year's Day. And what a great time of the year to be outside grilling. A lot of people think, well, that's for the summer, and we think it's exactly the opposite. We think that it's this time of year that it's nice to be outside. There's a chill in the air, you got a fire going, you're cooking all this amazing food. It's just a ton of fun. So let's talk about New Year's Day. I'm from Georgia, and in the South there's a lot of New Year's Day traditions. We wanted to do something that's easy and fun for you guys to try out on New Year's Day. All the superstitious things that you can have some good luck for the year to come. So we're going to be doing a pot liquor dish of Hoppin John. It's an amazing Southern traditional dish, has a lot of flavor, has all the good luck thrown into one pot. And you know, talk about pot liquor, we're going to be using the Southern Foodways recipe, and if you want a great book to read, the Pot Liquor Papers by John T. Edge is something else, and it's something that we're using today, and it's an awesome book for those that want to know the history of food, particularly the South. I highly recommend it. And we're going to be cooking 2 pork tenderloins. These pork tenderloins are going to be seasoned differently. Spiceology sends us some amazing spice mixes. This one is an espresso chili that we're going to be doing. And then also we've got this Thai peanut, something a little bit hotter, something foreign, a little different. It's going to be fantastic. Of course, we're going to be doing that over our KUDU African wood. It's going to give it a nice smoky flavor and help it have a nice finish. Of course, we're going to be doing the pot liquor in our Dutch oven. You can get these online. They always, when they come in, they immediately sell out. They come in green, blue, and red. Absolutely gorgeous. Can do a multitude of things. A lot of people cook on them inside over their gas range. And then lastly, we're going to do some cornbread, and we're going to do that in our KUDU oven, our bread maker. So we're going to have the bread maker, we're going to have the Dutch oven, and we're going to be grilling our pork all at the same time on one KUDU. If you look here, I've got my charcoal starters, and I just use these tumbleweed bundles. You can get this at almost any grocery store. It's all natural. The charcoal starters have 4 holes on the outside, so I just put these alongside of them. I need a good bit of fuel, but you also want enough fuel that's manageable. You don't want to overdo it and have it too hot. Now, the nice thing about the KUDU is that it's flat, so we can manage temperature both vertically with raising and lowering our cooking surfaces, and then we can also manage it by banking coals. Maybe we want it super hot where the tenderloin is and have that up a little higher. Maybe we want it a little bit cooler as we're just slowly cooking in our Dutch oven. But basic rule of thumb for me, when I come out here, I want to have the entire charcoal covering both of my charcoal starters about 3 to 4 inches higher than the top edge. That way, when it's done, I can use my smoker lid and I can actually shut down the charcoal so that I can reuse it again. That was something that people wanted to understand. Well, you know, if I cook on the KUDU, I'm just going to burn through all this fuel. That's not true. You might have to use a little bit more fuel in an open environment, but you're not going to waste any more fuel because you can shut it down and reuse it using the smoker lid. It's a great product, really versatile, helps in a variety of manners. So it all starts with pork. Pork has long been the meat of choice for New Year's Day for good luck. Why is that? Well, because it roots forward, and you want forward movement into your year, and you want to move forward in your year. So people love to go with pork. We're doing 2 pork tenderloins. We've seasoned them liberally with our 2 spices from Spiceology. We're going to start them low and get a nice sear on that meat, and then we're going to bring it up and let it finish. Some people think that you use a thermometer because you don't want to undercook pork or chicken or turkey or whatever it is. Well, it's the exact opposite. You don't want to overcook it. When you overcook food, you ruin the food. End of story. You're the bra master. You're in control. When someone comes to your house and they say that they want their steak medium well, you tell them that you want world peace, and neither of those are going to happen tonight. It's just the way it is. You're the bra master. You cook food the way it's supposed to be made and the way it has the most flavor. You're not going to get anybody sick, but you don't want to overcook a nice pork tenderloin, period. USDA will tell you need it at least medium. A lot of chefs will tell you that's almost overcooked as well. Maybe that nice nice medium rare to medium will be a nice place to be. You can dial that in with a nice thermometer. Hoppin John's an amazing dish. It was started in the South, in the Carolinas and Georgia. Essentially, it's just a medley of black-eyed peas, which are considered good luck. You've got collards that represent money. The green, you've got rice, we've got some more pork that we actually have used to get the beans ready to go into the pot liquor, and onions. So how are we going to do this? First way that we do this is that we're going to actually go ahead and get our black-eyed peas ready to go into the pot liquor and cook it with the rice. So I actually brought the black-eyed peas to a boil with these bacon in. Some people use fat back, other things to get that nice flavor. Again, that's more pork, that's more good luck because you're rooting forward. You just basically get 4 cups of the juice remaining that's left over from when you brought your black-eyed peas to boil, and then let those simmer for 30 minutes. Take them off. We'll add that into the Dutch oven along with the rice. We'll bring that to a boil, and then we'll add the onions and the chives, and then at the end, we're just going to add the collards to the top. Some people want to cook collards separately. That's certainly, you're fine to do that, but it's really nice. You can just lay these in on top of the Dutch oven and they'll wilt in about 15 to 20 minutes. You don't want to overcook collards either. It'll make just for a delicious recipe, and it's going to be just wonderful and super easy with the Dutch oven. You're going to manage that heat by bringing that heat up with a lot of coals. Then you're going to pull those coals away. We'll talk about that when we're cooking, and you're just going to let it simmer and finish out. At some point, you can even take it out of the KUDU and move that to the side of the grill, and it can finish right there. It's going to be wonderful. Lastly, let's talk about our cornbread. We're going to do this in the bread maker. Cornbread is said to represent gold. Again, if you're into wanting some financial good luck, then this is something you want to do. We've done 2 cups of cornmeal, 2 cups of flour. We have got 2.5 cups of milk, 3 eggs. We're going to put in some corn and jalapeno in our cornbread, along with some crackling, which again is more pork. It's just pork skin that's been nice and crispy. Of course, you need to have some baking powder. I believe 2 tablespoons rather. 2 tablespoons of sugar, salt, and then a couple of tablespoons of oil. So we're going to get that mixed up. We're going to put this in here, and what's fun about the KUDU bread oven is that you'll be able to put this in the ring that the plancha goes. So it's going to sit there, and you'll be able to raise and lower that off the heat. And then in this top tray, you're going to put your coals, and it's going to create an oven. It's going to create convective heat, and you're going to cook from the top and the bottom. You'll be able to make an awesome bread in here while you're cooking in the Dutch oven, while you're grilling your pork. People will be around on New Year's Day watching football. It's going to be just an amazing experience for you if you can pull all this together, and it's really easy. Our coals are getting ready. They're almost nice and hot. They get that white ash that we're looking for, that we know ready to go, and we're going to jump right in. We've got a multitude of things going. We started our bread out and we had a whole layer of charcoal on the top, but it's already risen nicely and it's browned. We'll show you a picture of that in a second. So I've gone ahead and raised that up. I just want to make sure it cooks from the bottom up nice and thoroughly. The top's ready to go. We're watching our pot liquor here. It's just starting to bubble here. This is about the time that we want to take it off the heat completely and let that rice set up with everything else that's going on. And then we've started our pork tenderloin in the back because we know we can get this off the heat and let it rest. put a nice crust on the outside. So we'll bring it up and make sure we get to that perfect temperature for the pork tenderloin without overcooking it. Okay, so our bread's doing perfect. We've got our pork tenderloins raised so they can get up to that perfect temperature. And the Hoppin John has really been brought to a boil. We're gonna get this off now because this Dutch oven will allow this to set up. So we'll get this off of the heat and we'll just set it right down here. So now with the Dutch oven out of the way, safely on the ground, I can move these coals over to my pork tenderloin in my bread maker. And then we'll get the right heat for these things to finish up perfectly, and we'll be ready for the perfect New Year's Day meal. When you're about 10 minutes out from being finished, you can see the steam. We're gonna put in our collards. We're just gonna layer these across the top so that these can wilt into the dish. So then the question is, how do we know when our bread's ready? Well, we knew that the top looked nice and we didn't want to overcook that. It's still steaming nicely, but one way that we can test it is with, this is a chopstick. You can use a knife, but you want to hit that to the bottom and make sure you don't have too much batter coming off on there. So there it is, our New Year's Day meal. We've got pork that roots forward. We've got cornbread representing gold. We've got pot liquor Hoppin John with plenty of greens in there. And just from our KUDU family to you guys, we want to wish you the very best New Year. We hope you enjoy this Tame the Flame, and we've got plenty to do in 2018. So we look forward to bringing you some amazing open fire cookery. Until then, babe, anything you want to say?
Yes, voorspoedig aan nuwe jaar.
All right, so in Afrikaans, I would guess that's Happy New Year?
Yes, best wishes for the new year.
Very well, cheers.
Cheers.